On today's episode, we're going to have the infamous, the famous, the most awesome person in this world. We're going to have an awesome interview with Nilda and so much more things that we have to ask. Stay tuned, everybody.
Well, we're waiting.
Do it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Miami Geeks Weekly Updates, brought to you by digitalcracknetwork.com. I'm your host, Punch305, and yes, I'm sorry, Uncle Willie cannot join us today because he is swamped with work as usual. But today's going to be a special day. We have Nilda here, which we're going to be talking to her and asking all these questions. We have an exclusive interview with her, so yeah, she gave us the time and day, guys. You don't understand. You understand? She's a very important person, okay? So let's get started. Let's jump to it. Nilda, how you doing?
How are you doing?
Oh, I am fantastic. Just excited, a ball full of energy because we finally get together just to ask you all the questions we need to know. Because
I know before the year ends.
Huh?
I said before the year ends.
I mean, right? It's been too long, and this has to be done already. And we're gonna start off the new year like this because we're gonna let everybody know before the new year ends that we talked, we're friends, we high five each other, and yeah, that it's going down. Ha! So, oh my God! So Nilda, please tell everybody who are you, what's up, and let's get popping. Let's go. Let's get started.
My name is Nilda. I have a YouTube channel called Appetite for Collectibles. I'm actually also co-owner to a store called Way Back When Collectibles and Antiques.
That's my second home, just to let you everybody know. Please.
I know, he's obsessed with our video game. I've been collecting toys since I was 9 years old, and I'm a huge Star Wars and horror fanatic.
Yes.
Right now I'm wearing a Boba Fett dress, but I started the YouTube channel. It's going to be 2 years in July. So that's been going pretty well. I kind of took a little small break because I had to focus with work. But starting with the new year, we're going to be doing some pretty epic stuff that I have like lined up. And I actually made like a schedule and everything for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing it first. So this is exclusive. We're getting the deets from Nilda herself. So Nilda, before we get down to that nitty gritty, we need to know something. How did this all happen? Like this whole collecting, the whole horror franchise. I mean, let's go little by little. I mean, I don't want to swamp you with all these questions, but let's see how let's get started. Like, how did this all happen, the collecting?
Well, I've been a fan since I was a kid. And then I always collected throughout the years. I didn't do anything crazy. But my grandfather ended up actually passing away in the beginning year of COVID. And instead of me being upset and like depressed about his passing, I just started splurging and buying a lot of toys. And that led to one thing, and then that led to another. And then next thing you know, we got all this. And horror, I've been a fan since I was a kid. My mom let me watch my first horror film when I was 9 years old, which was The Exorcist. And once I saw that, I became completely obsessed with it, and I just went through it. Horror films never scared me. They actually made me laugh more than anything.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you and I can relate. Certain movies, I just can't help myself but laugh. Like Freddy Krueger movies, for a fact, I could sit there and be like, oh, this is going to be a grand old time. I could watch them all day and just point out all the funny things that they do in there. Like in every movie, whenever it ends, the last characters that are still alive on the next movie, they end up somehow dying or disappearing, weirdly. And I was just kind of like, oh, that's weird. Like, I never noticed that until, now, this year, like me older. Like it's just been like little things. I got like little nitpicks, and I'm not even nitpicks. I'm sorry. Just like mostly just kind of like observing new things. And of course, I mean, I have to say myself, when I first met Jason himself, that is my man. That is my guy. That is my guy. And especially when he told me that he wanted to choke me in one of the pictures. I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, yes, Dad. I mean, yes, no, what? And it just happened. Like, he just gave me a big old, like, come here, you just roughhouse me. I'm like, dude, I'm okay with this. Be rough with me. I love it. And I just got all into it, and I can't wait to meet Robert Ingwood. Like, that'll be my next thing, to meet Robert. I need to meet him because I already got to meet Jason. That's my Jason.
Really nice to meet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got to meet him at Spooky Empire, so he was like super dope to meet. It was like quick, but still, it was like very awesome. He's like, let's take a photo together. He's like, and let's pretend like we're in love and we're dancing. And he put his cheek next to my cheek, and like the whole entire time, I was freaking out that I was meeting Robert Ingwood. Dude.
I envy you right now, but let's continue on, because if not, we're gonna be stuck here talking about Robert and everybody else. So your collections led you to pretty much what we have in the background right now, which is amazing. You have an arcade of Rampage. You have all these beautiful figurines from Star Wars. And of course, let me not only this, but ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever come to Florida or in Florida, please visit Way Back When. Now, that store has everything that you can imagine in toy, from Ninja Turtle, Star Wars, you name it, they mostly have it. And it's amazing. Like, that's my second home. When it comes to video gaming, it's there. Now, once you started noticing all these stuff that you start collecting, when did you think that you're like, man, I'm collecting a little too much? And did you ever thought about ever stopping?
So yeah, I started noticing, like in the beginning when I started YouTube, I started noticing that I was kind of like buying certain things that I usually didn't collect. And I kind of put a halt on it, and that was another reason why I kind of like took a break on doing toy hunts. And now I actually just started going back to what I was originally doing, which was collecting Star Wars and horror only.
Nice.
And once I started doing that, I actually started finding more liking into the vintage Star Wars, and I kept buying now toys from like the 70s and 80s, and I got more into collecting more vintage toys as opposed to like what everybody is trying to find now on pegs at stores.
Yes, man, it's awesome. Now, about your YouTube page, which again, I'm one of the big fans. I'm always there. I love it. And every once in a while, I'll jump in and say a couple chats here and there. How did you get started with that as well? Did you just notice that there was a niche out there for collectibles and you know, building stuff? Like, one of your amazing builds, which I gotta say, was the Black Saber. And I couldn't stop geeking out to the point where I almost choked on my food while I was watching your video, because I saw you building it and I saw Joey trying to help you, and I was like, oh my god, this gory. I'm just feeding myself like, oh my god.
I know that thing, in the instructions, it doesn't tell you that you have to use this small little swivel of a screwdriver to remove it out. And it was like these little designs, and I'm sorry, it looked like I was reading an IKEA manual, and I really couldn't understand what the hell was going on. And then finally I was like, wait a second, I think this turned, so I gotta move this around.
Oh my god, like, for real, ladies and gentlemen, I'm playing the video here. I'm playing very little clips of here and there of your podcast, and it's just simply amazing. Like, all these little builds that you do. Now, where I was getting to, it's when you started your first show, your first podcast, how did it come about? Like, what triggered that niche to do this?
So the story is kind of a little funny. So
okay.
I used to actually be in a podcast called Archives of the Force. And it was a show that my cousin started, and it was just only specific radio. It was on Spotify, iTunes, and I forgot like what other streaming services. But we were both on there. My cousin was the main guy, and then I was always the guest of honor on the show. And we would break down all these things that went on with Star Wars, current events, past news things. We would watch trailer droppings and stuff like that. And one year, we both kind of had like a creative issue with each other.
Okay.
And my cousin decided to say something that like triggered something in me. and basically kind of like said that I couldn't do YouTube or I couldn't do podcasts on my own.
Oh no.
So yeah, but it was like a little girl fight that we had.
Yeah.
We're still really good friends. We hang out all the time. I think you've met my cousin before. And needless to say, like when you tell me something that I can't do it, I actually will like prove you wrong and do it. And, you know, I went home that day, was rearranging my second bedroom in my apartment. And I kept thinking to myself, like, how the hell am I going to start a YouTube channel? I was like, you know, Chris doesn't do YouTube, so I should do YouTube instead of doing a podcast because I don't know nothing about radio. So I started watching other people's YouTube channels. And I was like, wait a second, like, I'm noticing something. There is not a lot of girls that are doing toys. I go, and I love collecting toys, and there's not a lot of women out there doing it. You know, there's Laura Legends. I know that there was Bella's Toy Chest, but she's more like in the provocative scene. And I started noticing that there weren't really like true toy collectors except for Laura Legends. So I was like, you know what, let me try something. So then that idea came, and then afterwards I kept thinking to myself, like, okay, I need a name. I'm like, what should I name myself? So I'm like, let me start something with Star Wars. But I'm like, no, I don't want it to be only about Star Wars because that's not what I collect. So then I remember I was sitting in my second bedroom and I was going through my closet and folding up my clothes. And the first thing I pulled was from 1988. It's a jersey from the Guns N' Roses Paradise City album. So I have the jersey and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a second. I was like, I like these colors. And then I was like, oh, I like the logo. And then I was like, oh my God. And then like a light bulb struck, and their album is called Appetite for Destruction. So I decided to name myself Appetite for Collectibles for Guns N' Roses.
Dude, that is amazing. Okay. The first thing which I'm going to point out to anybody is listening, and mostly to the gentlemen on here, any men that are listening, never push a woman and say that they can't, because they can, and they'll do it 10 times harder than you would and succeed. So I'm just letting you know, I'm a married man. I never told my wife never. I never tell her can't, because she can do more than I can, like beyond belief. I know she can. And just hearing your story just proves the point that you can never tell a woman that she can't. And
I know you can.
Huge success on your thing. I love it. And you know, besides the fact that I watch your channel, like I watch OG Geek, and I'm noticing that you both are technically in the same like in the same route of all these toy collecting and stuff like that, which is amazing. You guys are great friends as well, which I find that amazing as well to have you here. And I had them before, a long time ago, like pre-COVID, when it started happening ish, more or less. So you'll be my third guest here. So, and you're actually more awesome. So I'm never gonna say that to OG Geeks. Shh, don't say nothing. So
I won't say that.
So yeah, so now that we established how did you get started, how did you get this whole thing with having the other toy collectors on there, the other 3 ladies that join you? And sometimes it's not it's not even the 3, it'll be like you and excuse me, my God, it'll be you and another friend. Oh, sometimes even you by yourself. I mean, I seen you do bad by yourself and you do it just right. But how did it became to a point where you start bringing other people to your toy opening videos and stuff like that?
So what I ended up doing was, in the beginning, before I started YouTube, I started doing like Instagram to test the waters, and then I was doing YouTube. And then I figured, you know, like what else can I get out there to like bring my Instagram page more followers and to just build the community bigger. I started this show on Mondays called Show Me Your Collectibles.
Okay.
And I used to show what I picked up for the week, and I would do it on Monday. I would never post pictures of it or anything. And then I would have other people hop on Instagram, you know, my Instagram story, my Instagram live, and we would talk about what they picked up, what they collected, and stuff like that. And I did that for like 3 months, and it was good. And then once I started doing that, I figured, you know, let me start doing this now on YouTube. And as I was there, like 6 months into it, I ended up making friends with some guy named Star Wars Rick, and he lives in California. And he kept telling me, he's like, man, I wish you lived in the West Coast. And I said, why? And he's like, would be like great friends with my friend Caitlin, who lives in Arizona. So I'm like, okay. And I was like, oh, what's her page? I'll check her out. So I went on her page. I saw that Caitlin, basically, me and her were the exact same person, just in two different coasts. And I messaged her, and we instantly hit it off. And we literally talk every day. If it's either Instagram, texting, just anything in general, we just chit chat with each other. And I remember one day, I started noticing that there was a lot of other toy collecting pages or YouTube channels that always kept doing shows. And it's not just, I'm not saying I'm a feminist, but it was a lot of shows that only had men on there. And I knew that there was a lot of female toy collectors out there, and they just didn't get any credibility. So I was like, I should start a show called Women Collectors Unite. And it's an episode that we would do on Thursdays, and I'll have different girls join on the channel. And I ended up doing that. I had Caitlin first, and we had my friend Jana. We had Miriam from Collector's Crush. We've had my friend Megan from Malone's Pops. So it was like, it was just getting there to everybody know that women collect toys as well.
That's awesome. I mean, you built pretty much an awesome empire. Let's just put it that way. It might not look like one, but in my eyes, is an empire, and you're doing it so awesomely. I have to say right now. Now, I know we already got established with the whole toys. We got established of your collectors. Let's talk about your ink, because you got some wicked ink right now, okay? And you got some cool things of all your tats. Look, oh my God. Look, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if you can see this video now of her arms alone, they're so, I got 2 tattoos only. And I look at hers, I just feel like I'm underwhelmed. I'm like, oh, let me just hide mine. I'm just not saying nothing that I got 2 little tats. But hers is just beyond awesome. It's a story technically, because you have a lot of things in there, from horror icons, Star Wars, and a bunch else. How did you get started with just having tattoos like that?
So my first tattoo was when I was 16. I begged my mom to let me get one, and she told me if I got in straight A's, she would let me get one. And she didn't think that I was going to be able to do it, and I ended up getting straight A's. And she let me get a little tiny, like, Chinese letter on the back of my shoulder. And then once I turned 18, I used to go to the gas station or 7-Eleven, and I used to buy the inked magazines all the time. And I used to see all the models with all their tattoos and like pinup girls. And I thought it was like the most beautiful thing in the world. And it was like all these Latin girls with red lipstick and tattoos. And I kept thinking to myself, like, I could be that. And I was like making it as a joke. And then one tattoo went from 2 tattoos to 3 to having my whole back done, both of my arms done, both of my legs done, my whole stomach and rib cage done.
Damn. Have you ever been like in magazines or stuff like for your work?
No, I've only entered, I think, twice or 3 times for Ink magazine competition. And
okay.
One year I came in second, and another year I came in third.
Amazing. I mean, Nilda, I'm telling you right now, like, for all the lady listeners out there that are listening to this story right now, I'm pretty sure they're going to be above and beyond, like, motivated to do everything that you're doing right now, because it's cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually like amazed of everything you've done and been through to be where you are right now. And let's talk about the store now, because the store is just another piece of history itself with everything that's in that store between you and Joey. Now, tell us a little more about the store, if you may, if it's okay with you.
So Joey opened up the store 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. He was working at Toys R Us, and I guess when Toys R Us closed down, he decided to open up his own store. And at first, it started off as an antique store. And, everybody always gave him shit. They always thought that, Antiques isn't going to make it. And he ended up lasting longer than a lot of places usually do. And I walked into his store in 2020. We met literally before my grandfather passed away. And I went in there as a customer to go buy something. And we ended up just hitting it off. And our first date was actually on June 1st, which is actually his birthday and my dad's birthday. And we've been inseparable ever since. And I started helping him out at the store, just redirecting him to a new way of how collectibles have changed throughout the years. Getting more into like 70s, 80s, 90s toys. I helped him more with Instagram and stuff like that. And basically it went from just like pots, pans, awesome vintage antiques that, people not of our age group, but people like in the 50s and 60s would enjoy.
Yeah.
And we turned it into this awesome, 70s, 80s, 90s, and now collectible store. We carry vintage vinyls, vintage video games that you guys have been to and absolutely love. We have collectible toys from the 70s to 90s. We have awesome oddities. Like we just picked up a bear a couple days ago. And like people have walked into the store and they've seen it and they're like, dude, you have a bear. Which is like so hilarious to me. We have vintage jewelry, we have sideshow pieces, hot toys. We're in the process right now of building cabinets and having a semi-large comic book section in the store.
Oh my God, yes.
We have Funko Pops, like basically anything you name it. We don't classify as a toy store. We classify as that one-stop shop because you can think to go into a store and want to buy one thing, but you end up coming out with other things.
That's awesome. I mean,
that was the direction that we wanted to go with.
And I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, just because of what she's saying right now does not even remotely says anything once you walk into that room. Like, just once you walk in and you see the memorabilias, you get to see all this antique stuff. And then you go into these certain rooms and you start seeing like your childhood right there. I mean, dude, I saw the Technodrome and I literally pissed my pants. And I was like, oh, I swear to God, I turned to 7 years old again. I turned 7 that moment. I was like, I need to play with these toys. And then walking around, I see jerseys from freaking back in the years. I see all these old albums, rap albums. And then, of course, the video game section. I'll never leave that video section because that's one place that's my safe haven. That's where I'm going to be. And maybe one till the day I die. But there's going to be this one specific day, which I know Uncle Willie's listening. And it's going to be the day that all of us four, we're going to go to a location where they have 2 warehouses full of video games. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not responsible for Willie's death, but I am responsible for all his games. So I'm going to take all his video games and he can't say nothing because he's not here. Either way. Anyways, so Nilda, now here's the real question. What are your future plans? What are you planning to do now with this empire? What are you gonna make? What else are you gonna do? I know you have 2022 already in the bag because you got things planned already. So what are the future for your page, your journey, everything? We would like to hear that. And this is exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody knows about this except us now.
Well, some things I'm gonna divulge and other things I'm not.
Okay.
So for right now, I am taking the channel to a new direction. Instead of doing toy hunts, because I feel now with, multiple toy stores opening up, we have Toys R Us is going to be finally reaching into the United States. They just opened last week in New Jersey. They're going to be hitting every Macy's. I think everybody's always doing toy hunts. I'm just going to be doing more into like the vintage stuff. We are also estate auctioneers, so I'm going to be doing more of estate sales and actually getting the videos of it and doing stuff like that and showcasing oddities and rare items from Star Wars and horror. I have been in the works. I am this close. I'm almost done to possibly getting a celebrity on the show. I have been emailing them back and forth. So I've been waiting for that one. And the only hint that I can say is that he is not a very liked character in a certain franchise. So that's the only hint that I can give. We're going to be doing more like state tours. So I'm going to be hopefully soon visiting my brother in West Virginia and seeing what the toy scene is over there. Going to be doing more, like I said, other states, going to other conventions. So I'm going to be doing more of like the toy world in the community. And then my last thing was that I was going to start it this year, but I'm actually going to do it for next year. I'm in the process of doing a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called What the Thrift. It's a thriftology of thrifting. One thing that I will say that is my favorite thing to do with my partner and, my fiance Joey, is we like to go thrifting. It's terrible, especially for me who likes to get my nails done, but going thrifting is so much fun for us. Me and him have literally gotten up at 5 a.m, have showered, gotten dressed, gotten coffee and, Dunkin' Donuts, and we have gone to the swap shop. And we have literally been there from the crack of dawn, sweating our asses off, and just finding some crazy items at thrift stores, Goodwills, different flea markets all around. And one time we went to the swap shop and I kept telling him, I was like, I know a lot of people that go thrifting, and like some of these people have turned it into like their actual jobs.
Yeah.
And, they quit working for corporate America and decided to go for themselves and, go thrifting. I have a really good friend of mine that comes to the store all the time, and he turned thrifting into a career. And, this guy is making probably the same amount of money as doctors are.
Jesus.
Buying items for $2 and reselling them for $3, $4. Or, like recently in the news, there was a gentleman who bought a painting for $2 and come to find out it wasn't a painting, it was a stencil from something in the 1700s, and it's $1 million painting.
Jesus. You see, that's the thing that I want to run into. That's amazing. Jeez. I want that luck.
Yeah. But that's one of my next adventures that I'm doing. I'm going to be buying like a special camera for that. And I already have all my friends that are lined up that I know that are ultimate thrifters. And we're just going to be doing my documentary, which is called What the Thrift. And hopefully my goal is to be able to actually edit this so well that I can turn it into an actual documentary and possibly submit it to IFC's young directors to see if maybe it can get picked up.
That'd be awesome. And I'll be in ahead of that ticket line. I want to be first. Just saying, I want to be first to pick my chair, I can't eat popcorn, but I'm going to make sure to have something else I can snack on so I can watch this documentary because I need to. This is going to be fun. And I can't wait to hear more of your adventures in the near future, which Nilda, all I can tell you is I think above and beyond ecstatic with everything you told me right now. And I'm pretty sure that our fans are listening to this recording right now are pretty much beyond amazed. And I can't wait to see how many people do we touch with your story that will inspire them to the point to do the same thing as you're doing right now. I mean, you're just fantastic. You're fantastic. You and Joy are just amazing, which I can't get enough of. Every time I get on my phone, I see anything that you guys are doing, I have to love it and watch it and comment because Joy is a different persona. Joey is so awesome. The day when we ran into him, we ran into you guys at SuperCon, and we just had a ball with, hey, record this. I gotta do this. And I'm like, oh man, this guy's awesome. I gotta see this in action. And he's just such a live, he just goes into it. It's amazing. That's all I gotta say right now. I love you guys. You guys are amazing.
We try. I have to say there is no me without him. So. No,
absolutely. And you guys are meant for each other. You guys are like the yin to the yang. Is amazing. Like the chemistry you both have together is just awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, he's my it sounds cheesy, but he's my Han Solo to my Leia.
It ain't cheesy, girl. This is part of the nerd culture. That's what we believe in, and we're okay with it. But Nilda, I really have to tell you, thank you so much for joining us today. And do you have anything you want to plug in? Your sites, your pages, anything you want to plug in? This is all you. This is all for you. I want you to give it all out there. Anything you can remember. Hell, pull out that cell phone and be like, wait a minute, I forgot one more. Bah, just put it out there. We want everyone to know where to find you, where to reach you, everything.
So because I barely use Facebook. I think I just use Facebook for like family members and stuff. But on Instagram, you can find me as Nilda_listens. On YouTube, you can find me as Appetite for Collectibles. And then on TikTok as well, you can find me as Appetite for Collectibles, but it's like all one word, no spaces.
Okay, that's not a problem. Well, I'll make sure to put all those images up here where everybody's going to be seeing that. And I know for a fact, and I'll put the links down below because I want to make sure that everybody follows you, because you're a force you can't be reckoned with. And I need to, again, I can't stress it enough. They need to check you out. This is awesome. But Nilda, thank you so much for being here. And again,
thank you. I know that we were waiting for the longest time to do this.
Oh my God, you have no idea. And again, it's been such a busy year with the shows and then school, then work, and then my kids, and then talking to you too. I'm like, oh my God, how you doing? You're okay? Oh, work too. I'm like, oh, don't worry. We got a high five. Let's go. Coffee break. Let's go. And it's just, we're just doing everything at once just to make this happen. And luckily today, on the 30th, we actually made something happen, which I'm just beyond words of ecstatic of thanking God that we got this opportunity with you.
Ooh, I will say this because I haven't announced it. I forgot.
Go, tell me.
Just one thing. I will be dropping a video tomorrow as the last video of December 31st. It is going to be my top 5 favorite toys of 2021.
Oof.
So I'm announcing this first here, but it'll be dropping tomorrow.
That's it.
I'll be doing it before the new year.
I'm gonna blow up YouTube with that one now. That's it. It's all down. That's it. Nilda gave me the exclusive rights right there. Oh my God. Nilda, thank you so much for being here. And as always, we can't wait to see you next year. So everybody who's watching, take care. We love you and peace.